Just days after being crowned the world's most valuable company, a multi-day sell-off has cost Nvidia the top spot. Hello and welcome back to our channel. My name is Daniela, and in today's video we're going to be looking at Nvidia, which has been the market sweetheart for a while now. There's definitely been a lot of talk about it in recent months, and everyone's been keeping an eye out on the performance of the chip maker. So in today's video, we're going to be looking at what's been happening over the last few days and also what we could expect going forward, given how the stock's performing, given that we've recently seen a stock split and also intense pullback in the last few days. But before we get into it, please like this video, comment, subscribe. And as always, if you have any questions or suggestions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. So as I was saying, Nvidia was crowned the most valuable company in the world just a few days ago on June 18th. The market cap hit $3.3 trillion, which overpassed Microsoft, which had been occupying the top spot at the space. But in the subsequent 3 days, we saw $430 billion wiped off of its market cap. And that actually pushed it down to third spot, back behind Microsoft, but also Apple. So that is where the stock currently remains, in the third spot. We have seen a recovery on Tuesday. Yesterday, we did see the stock come back around 7% after those 3 days of intense selling. But investors are questioning exactly what has happened. And before we get into it, let's revise how Nvidia got to the stock top spot, because, as I say, Nvidia has been on everyone's radar for a while now. For the last year or so, there's been a lot of talk about it, but it was, I guess, in a process of evolving from being mostly centered in the gaming industry. Nvidia used to produce chips and technology for the gaming industry, and it's moved towards a data center focus, and specifically on AI and the AI revolution. And that's been the majority of the momentum that we've seen recently has been driven from the AI market. And it's considered that Nvidia's GPU, which is a graphic processing unit, is considered to be one of the best out there. And that's why there's been so much focus towards Nvidia as the top market leader in the AI and chip maker sector, because it's expected that Nvidia will power the AI revolution with its chips. And that's why there's been, as I said, so much focus on this, so much focus on AI as the future of technology, and therefore a lot of the market dominance has been in AI. Nvidia is not the only one. There are many other chip makers competing for a market share, and also big tech companies that are investing in AI and AI branches. But as I said, Nvidia's GPU has set it aside. And even though there are competitors that are coming, and at one point we could see a better chip than the one Nvidia produces, the fact that it's able to, or has said it will update its GPU yearly, does give Nvidia a sense of dominance in the market, and suggestion that they will adapt to the situation and keep producing high quality products. Again, this is all forward looking, and this has been, as I said, just what's been keeping investors coming back into Nvidia, even as it's been deemed to be slightly overbought. Now, the rally that we've seen recently also came on the back of a stock split. Nvidia shares were trading around $1,000 before the stock split happened. I believe on June 7th it was. And it was a 10-for-1 stock split, which meant that the price was divided by 10. But it also meant that the offering was also increased by 10. So essentially, it makes no difference to the value of the company, no change to the market cap, other than the price of the share is a 10th, but also there are 10 times more shares. So eventually, an investor holding one share valued at $1,000 now suddenly had 10 shares valued at $100. Again, his value wouldn't change. It's just the price per share that is reduced. And that allowed a lot of new investors to come in, specifically retail investors that mostly saw $1,000 as a very hefty price tag for a share. The fact that it was divided by 10 means that new investors can come in, more retail investors, and these tend to be a little bit more volatile. So it's expected to see quite a bit of volatility after the stock split. And of course, as I said, we have seen that intense pullback over the last few days. And I think maybe some of it comes from, one, the market seems overheated. There seems like there's been a little bit of too much over exuberance in the tech sector. And also maybe some questioning the confidence that, Nvidia will remain in the top spot. Nvidia will continue to be the leader in the AI revolution. So all of that likely factoring in. Also possibly some technical factors as well, some profit taking after some really strong rallies that we've seen in the last month. So all of that weighed on Nvidia's share price, as I said, wiping off almost almost $500 billion off of the stock market for that. And we also saw that, of course, spilling over to the general stock market. We've seen US indices, the NASDAQ, which is tech heavy, also the S&P 500, all pulling back in the last few days. And that really goes to show the influence that Nvidia and some of these tech stocks that have been labeled the Magnificent Seven have on the stock market, and also pinpoints worries that there have been for a while, that the market is extremely concentrated, and essentially a very select few are leading the way in the market. They have a large part of sentiment in market, and just seeing one of these stocks underperform for a few days really rocks the stock market in general in the US. So there is a lot of concern about that. Let's quickly take a look at Nvidia's chart to kind of visually see what I've been talking about. As I said, these 3 days of pullbacks here really weighing on the stock. It actually come to a new high just around that $140. Of course, considering we've seen a stock split, this would be $1,400, which would be a new all-time high for the stock if the stock split hadn't happened. So considering this scenario, it is an all-time high for Nvidia stock. You can see this pullback here weighing on that momentum. As I said, this wiped away almost $500 billion from the market. Recovered on Tuesday, so of course seeing some very fierce support coming in regardless of the pullback. And as we can see here, it's an area that we found some support in the past. Back here after the stock split in June, we did see a little bit of a stumble in sentiment, but quickly catapulting higher. But you can see the rally has been incredible since the start of the year. You can see here, we can measure the appreciation, but it's quite remarkable. So to the highs that we saw back on June 20th, almost 200% higher, considering where we are now, and this pullback 165% higher. Still pretty remarkable for Nvidia. We've seen a lot of that momentum coming from 2023 already, but the growth this year so far has been explosive. Again, technical factors likely having an impact here. Let's look at the RSI just to see what picture the indicator's telling us. But you can see here, extremely overbought throughout most of 2024. You can see here the start of the year rally. That reversal back in March actually resetting that RSI, which allowed new investors to come in. Again, incredibly overbought back here in the last few weeks. This pullback also resetting, but not quite falling below that midline. So not quite that momentum that we saw back here at the beginning of April at these levels. That is it for today's analysis on Nvidia. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel.